Hey y'all, welcome back. We are here, episode 2 of my series, and today I am joined here with Mauria Mobley, CEO, designer, prodigy of Asset Devotions. And today we are going to be learning about her business, and just kind of how she operates her empire. Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Mar. I'm a self-taught designer based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm 24 years old and I've been the CEO and designer of Asset Devotions label for 6 years now, but I've known how to sew for 11 years.
Okay. So since you were 14? Well, 13?
Yes.
Can you tell us about kind of like your upbringing, just a little bit, just so we can kind of get like a picture of who you are as a kid, maybe like early teen, because that way we can know how you became the young woman that you are today.
Normal upbringing. I went to Quail Hollow Middle, South Meg High School. I actually took apparel at South Meg when I was, I don't remember what age. It was a long time ago, but I took apparel. That's where I originally learned the true basics of a sewing machine, but I already knew how to sew before that, especially by hand. I've known how to sew by hand for a very long time. I made my prom dress in 2017 when I graduated high school. I was actually already graduated and I decided to go to prom with my friends, and that's really the start of my business. My mother and my grandmother played a huge part in my upbringing, and I'm very appreciative for them. They're the reason that I am who I am.
Were you always a fashion girly, or were you big into music, or were you kind of like a video game girl for a little bit and kind of grew out of it? No?
The complete opposite, actually. So I've known how to hand sew since I was in my early middle school years, but I actually have a hidden talent of culinary. I was actually gonna go to culinary school, yes. So really I grew up wanting to cook all the time, learning how to cook. I actually would cut up construction paper and make it into fake food and cook, But I would say if I did go to school, it would definitely be for culinary, so.
Just like last time, I have my flashcards because I can't remember everything. So you mentioned making your prom dress, which I kind of knew before. I think you mentioned that to me when I first met you. What made you want to, one, make your own? How long did it take? Kind of just walk us through that whole thing, because that's a really big commitment.
So my best friend at the time, we went to Concord Mills Mall. Everybody probably knows about that prom store that's in Concord Mills Mall. We were there and I saw the prices and I was like, who? I know how to sew. So what we gonna do? At the time, I didn't even have a sewing machine yet, but I like to go thrifting. So the Value Village on South Boulevard, I was there with my grandmother thrifting. I had a buggy full of stuff, and when I went to check out, I looked over the counter and there was a sewing machine. And I was like, yeah.
How much was it?
$25.
Oh my God, I saw one the other day. It was $75, and I was
You should have gotten it.
When I say that thing was old,
Mine was old too.
it was probably pilgrims making clothes with that sewing machine.
Yeah, no, it probably would have been good to keep.
I would have just rather bought a brand new one, but okay, well that's a great price, but continue.
So I put everything back that I had in the buggy because I was like, I don't even care about that no more. I'm getting the sewing machine. So I got the sewing machine, and then that's when I kind of fell through with my plan. Okay, I'm gonna make my prom dress, and a couple of people are like, can you really do that? I'm like, I don't underestimate myself, so yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I went to Joann's Fabric and spent a boatload of money on fabric. Because at the time I didn't know how to buy fabric, so I spent a lot of money on fabric. But I got my fabric, and the process I can't really remember, but it was a while. It was at least 2 months. But the day before my prom, I actually completely changed the entire design of my dress. It was originally long sleeve, and then I changed it to straps. I'll find the picture.
How many pieces was it?
Probably around 20, but it changed like overnight. Like it was a straight across neckline, long sleeve. It was the same back, but then I was like, I don't like that, so I like completely took the arms off, and like the top that was straight across, I ended up making that the cow neck, and then I just connected the straps and like.
I think it came out perfect.
Thank you.
The reaction that you received from that, from what I understand, really created like a buzz around you. Like there was no label, no nothing yet. What were the reactions that you got, and like how did that fuel, like did that create like a spark, like maybe I can do something with this and make more things?
Yeah, it created a lot of talk for sure, and like it actually got my mind going like, okay, maybe I can. I originally just started out like making clothes for myself, and in the same year I met my boyfriend Sheldon. Shoe with Shell, are you Shell? He actually was like, no, you need to create a business, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So that's when I actually started like designing more and like pushing it out there, because I was making clothes for myself, but I wasn't posting them, and like I didn't have a page or anything. Like I was just making them and wearing them. I wasn't posting them, but of course I had that buzz around there. Everybody was like surprised that I could even do that. And yeah, but after that, it really gave me the confidence to make clothes for myself, because I knew what I was doing. I was an amateur, but I knew what I was doing. So yeah.
And after learning like basic sewing techniques and skills, what was your first official garment that you made? Was it the dress?
Personal. That was my first piece.
Personal? Can you remind me what it is? I know some of the early ones, like I know there's like Barbie tees.
Yeah.
But which one was personal?
It was the blue two-piece set with the wrap top, the flowy pants. That's what like that was my plan. Like that's what really kicked off my business, was personal.
I remember that set. So that was your first official garment you ever made. Okay. Well, that's a great garment as your first piece.
Thank you.
Girl, I haven't even finished my first thing.
You'll get there.
But yeah, it's because of time. Like that, but that, we're not talking about me, we're talking about you.
I used to be up at 4 a.m.
I wish, but you know, baby steps.
Yes.
My next question is, Miss Ma'am, are you self-taught?
I am.
I kind of got that from the beginning, but how did you teach yourself? Was it YouTube University? Also, I also want to know, did your mom and grandma, since you grew up around them, did they sew at all?
No. So maybe like, I would say 2 years ago, I found out that my great-grandmother actually used to sew when she was alive. So I think that I actually inherited it from her.
See, I said you were a prodigy.
Yeah, like I honestly, everything that I know, I don't know how I know it. Because besides like YouTube videos, based on like the template of things, I can do everything by myself. Like I can literally look at something and be like, okay. And I could just cut it out just with my eyes. Like it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but nobody in my family besides my great grandmother. So I'm self-taught besides my amateur sewing class in high school. And at that point, after I had made my sewing, I didn't remember nothing because it was so long ago. So I really had to reteach myself everything that I did learn from that class. So.
Oh my God, the mic fell off.
Oh shit.
I don't know how long it's been off.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, sorry if the audio was trash up until this very moment, but you were doing most of the talking anyway. How long do you think it took you to really get the basics down?
I'm gonna be real with you, like a solid 2 years. Like it definitely like effort for sure. Like you gotta put the time in. If you really want to know and you're dedicated to it, the time and patience is the most important thing. So 2 years confidently without like any outside help. Yeah, 2 years.
But you also provide classes
Yes.
for people. Can you talk about your one-on-ones a little bit?
Yes, so I'm very hands-on because I know what it feels like to like not know stuff and have to teach myself. So with my classes, I offer classes with or without a sewing machine, obviously for price difference, but I go into depth about knowledge about the sewing machine, fabric knowledge, anything pertaining to the sewing machine as far as like tools that you need for it. I go full in depth about it. I leave nothing out. I recently changed my lesson. So I actually did one back in February and it took me 8.5 hours to get it done. And usually it would take me around like 3 hours, and it ended up taking me 8 hours because I changed the lesson. But it actually is more beneficial now because I'm spreading more knowledge on the topic. But I go more in depth and I'm very hands-on. I do a couple of times and then I let my client do it over and over and over again until they're comfortable doing it. I'm just very hands-on. Like, I'm very there in it the entire time. Like, I never leave your side because I want you to feel comfortable enough to hit the road running after you leave me. So
That's good, because the class I took,
oh gosh, see, I've heard like horror stories about sewing classes, like real bad.
it was like 12 women and everyone's a beginner, so they're always asking for the instructor's help. And I'm just like always waiting. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just need to know, what does this mean on the paper?
Right.
And she just assumes that we know more than we do. And I'm like, girl,
It's easier to have one-on-one. That's why I've never tried to do groups, because it's hard. Yeah, I be in it, and my clients, my past clients, all of them, they can vouch for me. I be in it, and I tell them even afterwards, like, I'm here. If you have questions, never hesitate to hit me up, because I will answer you. I'm not the type to leave you hanging, because I know what it's like.
it's very incredible that you actually take the time out and
Of course.
offer, you know, your skills and an instructor, a coach to people who want to get into the business.
Yes.
At one point, you didn't have a machine, or maybe you did, but maybe it wasn't like the best machine. And then you got a Christmas gift from Shell.
Yes.
Can you talk about getting the gift and like how that changed the trajectory of your business? Because from what I understand, it really made everything progress quicker.
So at the time, I had my collection Barbie Vibes out, my Sherpa collection, which that's like one of my best-selling collections ever. And she's actually wearing, it's not Barbie Vibes, but that's Brown Sugar. That's my Brown
I have
Sugar.
the
That's one of my
gray
best
crew neck.
sellers. I think that's the first thing. No, that's not the first thing you bought. It's the hoodie.
I have the gray Barbie Vibes, but you were making Barbie Vibes with the old one, with the old machine?
Yes, so I was, okay, so he got me a serger machine, and that's what like changed everything, because the serger makes everything like so much quicker. It's cleaner, higher quality, everything. So I was genuinely shocked, and actually he told me that I walked right past it because I had came to their house, and he told me that I walked right past it and I didn't even see it, and it was unwrapped and everything, and I was like, oh, I was surprised, you know. But that helped, and I still have it, but it changed the trajectory as far as like my quality, my speed, everything. When I took apparel in high school, they gave you like brief knowledge on sergers, but they're super dangerous if you don't know what you're doing because of the blade and the speed. You can cut your finger off. So when I'm teaching, I tell them like, don't do that until you're ready, because it's very unsafe. The speed of it, if you're not ready for the speed and like the heaviness of it, don't get it.
Yeah, my teacher was having us just go up to it, and she's like, just serge these two pieces together.
That is not right, because if you stomp on that pedal a little too hard,
And then she was also like, be careful because this is my personal one. I'm like, why are you bringing your personal?
yeah.
Whatever. Your brand name, Asset Devotions. Why Asset Devotions?
It actually took me a while to come up with the name, because if you know like the names of my pieces, I try my best to like correlate them like with the piece as far as like the color, the feel, the vibe that it gives. So like that goes back to my business name. So Asset Devotions means the loyalty and quality of clothing. Asset devotion is loyalty, and like I'm very loyal to what I do. I stand for my quality. I stand for just like good customer service, like hands-on work, everything. So yeah, the loyalty and quality of clothing.
You recently got invited to some type of event, and I'm not sure what it is, so I'm eager to hear about this. Can you tell us what it was, and it looks like you took a plaque home, and you looked amazing, by the way.
Thank you. So it was a women's event to honor women for Women's Month, I believe. Destiny, the artist, she's amazing. She does custom work. I've known her for a very long time. I love her. I love her so much. She's such a genuine person. She threw that event to honor women. There was a lot of beautiful women there painting. She had like pots of like Louis Vuitton bags they were painting. It was so cute. And she got everybody like a bunch of flowers to put in them. But we, at the end, towards the end of the event, spoke about like ourselves and what we do and why we do it. And it was hosted at the Frame Charlotte. So if y'all ever need a studio, the Frame Charlotte's a very beautiful spot. And go support my girls.
What's her Instagram name?
The Artist, yeah, and then the Frame Charlotte, spelled exactly like that.
I'll put it on the screen. Okay. Is Asset Devotions a full-time thing for you at this moment?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know, yes, pretty much. Okay. Yes.
Do you also work as well or no?
Yes, I've always worked like through my whole entrepreneurship journey. I've worked the entire time. And that's pretty much all entrepreneurs, really. Because it's hard out here for entrepreneurs. Like, I'm gonna tell the truth. A lot of us make it seem like it's like rainbows and Skittles, like it's a cakewalk. No, it's not that. It's very challenging sometimes, which that's entrepreneurship. Everything about it is challenging. Nothing about it's easy, you know? So, and then anyways, like, you gotta think about it. If you're not getting the clientele that you want, you gotta have another source to feed your business off of, so.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to look at it, because some people are like, hell no, you know, I'm a CEO, I'm this and that, I'm too good for it.
You ain't never too good to be working. What Money Man say?
I don't know, what did he say?
Working a 9 to 5 not corny, being broke is.
Okay. I was like, I don't know, what did he say? I do want to commend you for the way that you do storytelling and mood boarding vibes with your rollouts for your collections. Like, I love, it's very detailed to me. Like, if you turn down the exposure for one post, like, I'm like, okay, this is more moody, more sensual. And I feel like you're very creative, like with the new lemon dress.
Yes, limoncello.
Limoncello, which, by the way, I was talking to my coworkers today. I was like, I feel like I want to get like a Skims undergarment and get the dress, because I'm like,
yes,
this is
and
literally
it's like slightly see-through.
perfect.
Yeah, it's so cute.
You did that in a parking deck, but like the way you did it, you laying on the ground, I'm like, it's given beach vibes, and I'm like, it's so nice that you can, even though with what you have, you still really convey the message. And it just gets better and better every year, because I remember when I bought the Barbie collection stuff, you just stacked it on the floor. And shout out to Shell too.
Yes.
Photos are beautiful quality and everything.
Photographer.
Every collection, like you said, with the name of the garment, the way you take the pictures, everything. Is that like really important to you? Like, do you really plan that out, or is it like you're just like, I'm just gonna take pictures whenever we're free?
So I'm actually an overthinker. So like, if I don't like the way something looks or the name of something, I'm not dropping it until I'm satisfied with it 100%. So I do put a lot of effort in. I run through probably 5 to 10 names of each piece before I actually figure out, down to the spelling. Like, I could have spelled limoncello a different way, but you know what I'm saying? I'm very picky though. Like, if I don't like the name of something, or I feel like it doesn't tell a story, I'm not gonna use it. But a lot of people's attention spans are very short, so I have to be careful not to be like too like complicated and like,
Too complex.
yeah, I get more deep when it's a collection, more so like one piece. But I do put a lot of effort in. I have a notebook and everything is in my notebook.
Well, that's incredible. And again, I love the way every time you post a picture, I'm just like, she's really doing it. She's going crazy. I had to take a break from like the whole garment making thing. At this very moment, I'm not like on the pursuit to start a brand or a label or whatever, but my goal is to learn how to alter clothing, and I have to learn how to do sewing and garment making basics. Every time I'm just like, Mars going crazy. Like, I
gotta
need to
keep going.
I need to go. Like, get
Yes,
up,
you gotta
get to
keep
work.
going. That's what you gotta tell yourself every day. Like, just keep going. Like, even if like you just work on it like just a little bit. Like, that's why I tell myself, even if it's just like an hour out of your day, even 30 minutes, like that 30 minutes makes like such a huge difference. And that's why I used to tell myself, like years ago when I was investing so much time, I would tell myself, give yourself 30 minutes, even if it's like right before you go to bed. It's gonna matter, because you might do something in that 30 minutes that like a week later you're gonna remember and be like, oh, I did that, I can cut a corner right here. So you never know, guys. Keep going.
And that's great advice, because you can apply that to everything.
Yes.
Like learning a new trade,
And
picking
write
up something,
stuff
learning a new
down.
language, everything.
Yes.
So
Write stuff down.
very insightful. You did bring some pieces with you today. I'm not even gonna tell you what you just talked to me. We've got some good sellers.
Yes, I'm gonna show my #1 sellers first. My bonnets, my infamous bonnets. Y'all, these are mine, so don't judge if you see anything. But this is mocha with 2 A's. This is my mocha, and they're satin. Everything is 100% handmade. They're double lined. Nothing thin around here, baby. You see it, it's not see-through. I dropped this collection, mocha, and then this is ginger. Same collection back in 2021, the summer of 2021, well, going into the fall. And then this is my #1 selling bonnet right here, and then this is my second. I've renamed this one a couple of times. This is Rosé right now.
I've seen on Big Lotto.
Yes, Big Lotto. Oh, that's a story.
That's with the red tag. She had it with the red tag too.
That's a story. Nobody knows about that, only a couple people.
Do you want to tell the story, or is it?
Sure.
Are you gonna keep it? Okay, go
No,
ahead.
I'll tell
We
it.
would love to know.
So how this went down is, and shout out to my baby cousin Bree. So I actually sent her the bonnet to her P.O. box like a year and a half before she even wore it. And I didn't forget about it, but I kind of just like left it up in the air, because I'm like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, you know? And she had posted on her story like maybe a month before she wore it that her P.O. box got shut down because it was too many packages. And I was like, dang, like I wonder where my package is, you know? And it was November 23rd. I can't remember. It was in November, the end of November. My baby cousin messaged me and she was like, bitch. She called me bitch, you know. She was like, bitch, is this your bonnet? And I was like, hold on. So I grabbed my phone and yeah, it was my bonnet. She was wearing it on her tour bus. She was dancing it in a hotel room, which got posted by the Shade Room. Good moment. It was a message from God to let me know that I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So yes, she wore this bonnet right here. And at the time, I think it was called Baby Pink. You want me to show everything? I just brought like my favorites. So this is sacral chakra, y'all know. Sacral right here, the one piece, long sleeve. My girl, she's very comfortable. You see, she's very stretchy. And I do stretch tests every time I ship out, before I ship out, just to make sure like it's up to par as far as the quality and stuff, and she not going nowhere.
Yeah, you gotta do your own QC test.
Yes, and I lint roll everything, make sure there's nothing on it. And then this is my newest drop right here, and this is actually a new unreleased piece right here, but this is limoncello.
Yeah, this is the dress that I said I was gonna wear some undergarments with, or what do you like? Not shapewear, but you know what I mean, like something that you're not gonna see the booty, but
yeah, because you could definitely see my butt through it. But the girlies be liking that. But let's talk about this. This is a extra small. A medium could fit in this. It's gonna give for sure, but I normally don't put size tags in my stuff, but I did this time, so y'all get to see. And it's in the back too. It's soft, it's lightweight, it's airy.
I was working at Abercrombie like 2014, and they released a bunch of shirts that it kind of looks like your shirt right now. And
I
they called it
remember.
between a sweater and a knit. and they called it a snit, which
A snit?
I don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I bought the most. I have 3 bags.
Yeah. You
I have
yeah.
the tote bag, the first tote bag,
Yes.
and then I have the more rectangle 2-hand with the crossbody.
Yeah, and then the shoulder bag.
I want the one that's shaped like this, but it's not on the site.
Girl, you know, you can hit me up.
Sometimes like I assume like, okay, maybe this is over with.
No, like if you want something, if y'all want something, you can hit me up.
Good
Even
to
if
know.
it's like not on my website, but it's still on my page, I can still make it. I got so much stuff, I can't remember no more, but that was Cuban. My friend from my old work gave me that name, and I do be asking my clients and like customers, my crowd, for name advice too, because I like to get everybody's input. Like I don't want it to seem like, oh, I don't care. So every once in a while, you know. This is my slouch bag. This is my newest bag. Yeah, this is my newest bag right here. I don't know how I came up with this. I just did, but she beautiful.
Yeah, and the bandana's going crazy.
And it's a lot in there. It looks small, but it's not. So
You can fit a little Chick-fil-A sandwich in there.
yes,
Bojangles
definitely.
Supreme box.
She cute. And silk interior. All my bags are silk interior. They got a zipper, everything. So, and this is called, y'all, I got so much stuff.
Okay. But I'll just put it on the screen. If you don't
Yes.
remember it, I'll just put it on the screen.
This
This one is hand bleached.
So this is hand bleached. I bleached them before I cut them up, and because all the bandanas are cut up, bleached it before I cut it up. So a lot of time put into every single piece. Like putting the pieces of the bandanas together takes so long. So, and I put them together. I don't just like throw them together. I like map them out. If I don't like how it is, like I switch them around. So yeah. And this one's like a little bit of patchwork. There's a plain bandana right there. Hardware, metal hardware. And this one's silk, y'all can see. Silk interior. Yep. Yes.
Well, earlier I mentioned that I was gonna give a quote from Virgil Abloh, may he rest in peace. But the quote that I'm going to reference for this question is, life is so short, you can't waste a day. Let me, hold on, let me. Okay. Excuse me. Life is so short, you can't even waste a day subscribing to what someone thinks you can do versus knowing what you can do. And I referenced that quote because I wanted to ask, this is a loaded question, I'm so sorry. Do you think people expect things from you or your brand, or like there's a certain pressure to keep certain collections going more than they should last? And really this question, you know, is just all about, you know, the pressure of being a business owner, what people expect, because I feel like in today's market, the consumer really dominates everything.
Yes.
Like 1 minute they love something and the next minute they don't.
There's definitely pressure, especially because I am a woman. I do think that there is like certain standards that are expected. If you're not giving what people want, and I'm a very like true to self person, like I won't do something for like $1, you know what I'm saying? So like if it's not something that I really want to do, or if it's not fulfilling to me anymore, I'm taking it off of my website. I'm not selling it anymore, because I don't want my business to be fueled around like, oh, money. Like no. Because my business is truly my passion. Sewing is my passion. That's what I love to do. That's what takes my stress and my worries away. So I don't want it to be fueled around money. So the standards, yes, they're definitely there, but I try not to let that get to me. But I definitely do think that I've kept things up longer than they should have been available due to, you know, the standards and the wants and needs of my customers and stuff. And you know, like my best seller of all time is still on my website right now. My split leggings, they're still there because they're my best seller. Like that's what I've made my most off of, like ever. So they're still there, but I try not to let the standards get to me and the opinions if it's truly your passion, you're gonna stay true to yourself at the end of the day, and you're not gonna do it just for a dollar, because I feel like that's where a lot of people mess up at, especially in the fashion industry. They do it for the money. When they see like a certain piece is bringing them a lot of money, they just push, and like eventually it'll get played out, like from your customers and you as well. Like you'll eventually get tired. Like me, I make my stuff by hand. I'll eventually get tired of making the same thing over and over and over. Like my split leggings, I made like 300 of them like in the span of a couple months, and like it did get tiring for sure, but I rode with it. And you know, eventually like they slowed down, so I stopped making them so much, so now it's not really a problem to me. But I definitely think that that's a big issue in the fashion industry. It's very money fueled for sure, not passion fueled. And I'm a very passionate person, so.
And I feel like it's obvious in like how I referenced your rollouts, like they're so detailed and everything. I think you can see it, even if it's through social media or just knowing a person. You can tell when they really give a shit about what they're doing, or
you really can.
If they're actually passionate about what they're doing, and if their stuff is authentic, because so many people will be like, well, everybody else is making this.
I call it a hole. You can get sucked in so easily in the fashion industry by simply like following the trends, and like you can get sucked in, and like at the end of the day, a trend is just a trend. Eventually it's gonna die out, and like if you are so like driven towards that, you'll get sucked in, and nothing else that you make is gonna flourish, because you're so driven towards that trend that is not solid. It's not gonna be forever. Like it's a fad. Like everything can be a fad. Eventually things are not going to be trending anymore. So if you think about it, there's so many brands out there that have only sold one single aesthetic of a thing, and you never hear anything from them ever again.
One of my managers at work, he always says to us is, it's kind of corny, but it's really true. He always says, if you're not evolving, you're going extinct.
Yes.
Which is really true. So if you're not being innovative, if you're not just thinking of new ways to reach new clients, new advertising, and really just changing up yourself, like if you're not learning anything from the experience, then what are you really doing it for?
And I believe in rebranding. I just rebranded too. So I believe in rebranding. There's nothing wrong with like changing it up and refreshing. It's good, because you're gonna change eventually. Over time, you're gonna evolve. That's one of my favorite words. So evolving over time, like your aesthetics is gonna change, your style is gonna change. So that just goes back into like the trends. So.
And Tyler, the creator, one time he made a release and every shirt had a different logo. And someone on Twitter was like, every shirt has a different logo. Like they said something about that, but he was just like, why does my brand need to only have one logo? I can have a bunch of different logos.
True.
Like, my brand can have 100 different logos. It's, so. Well, I'm pretty much almost done here. My last question for you is, have you outlined every state on your map poster? And do you still have the map poster?
So I think there's 52 states. There's probably 8 states out of the 52 that I have not shipped to. I've shipped overseas multiple times. I've shipped to Canada. I've shipped everywhere. I remember when that started happening to me, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and you gotta pay the price?
Yes.
Well, they gotta pay the price.
Yes, because international shipping.
Well, for all my entrepreneurs who are shipping items, I really recommend pirateship.com.
Pirate Ship?
It's really, really good. Like, I use it because I sell a lot of clothes on Grailed to Canada and then overseas to the Asians.
Oh yeah, they be eating it up.
It's great. So I really recommend Pirate Ship, but I'm glad to hear hopefully by the end of 2023, instead of, you said 8 states left?
Yes.
We can get it down to 4,
Hopefully, or maybe we can get it down to
0.
Yep.
Do you have any final words? Anything you want to talk about that I didn't maybe ask about, or?
No, but I do have some words of encouragement for everybody. I'm a very true to self person, so I'm gonna always try to speak life and positivity into people. Never stop, even though it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be a cakewalk. If it's a cakewalk, then is it gonna stick? Because I truly feel like if like success comes too fast, it's not gonna stick. It's not gonna be forever. It's not gonna be solid. So just keep going no matter what. Don't care about the opinions. Don't care about what anybody has to say. If it's something that you want to do it, okay? Everybody's gonna have something to say about something, so don't care. If that you have a vision, you go with it. Follow God, go with it, listen to your heart, and at the end of the day, nothing is just gonna happen. You're gonna be given the things to make it happen. You have to do it. So do it. If somebody gifts you, just like my boyfriend gifted me my sewing machine, it's not gonna sew the clothes. You gotta do it. Like if you're wanting to pursue sewing, you have to put the time in, and it's gonna take a lot of time, like a whole lot of time. So long as you have the time and the dedication and the work ethic behind it, it's bound to be successful. So yep, just keep going and have your faith.
I love it. I've loved this whole interview. It's been very positive. Well, that concludes the end of this episode. Shout out to episode 2, my second guest. Who's gonna be my guest for episode 3?
Oh no.
I don't know. You'll have to find out in 30 days. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2. If you want to watch episode 1, you can click here, where I interview Jordan, aka Mentalix. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Shout out to Zebo TV for helping me shoot once again. And of course, shout out to Asset Devotions, Mar, for coming on the show today. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.